Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. This is Dr. T, PhD, the Prodigy of Sports Psychology, and I'm so excited because today we have a returning guest back here on today's show, Gremlina from the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. And before Gremlina returns back here on today's show, I'd like to ask everyone out there, if you please be so kind as to like this video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your friends and family out there. And as you know, Gremlina is one of my very favorite guests right here on GoTarryn TV. Haven't talked to her in a while, so it's going to be wonderful to play catch up with her and just see how everything's going on in her world. So we're going to find that out here momentarily, and I can't wait to catch up with, again, one of the very best from the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, Glow's own Gremlina, right here on GoTarryn TV. And remember, with GoTarryn Health and Fitness, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back. Man, thank you so much again for coming on, and especially at this time. I appreciate it's been too long. Yeah, and I'm so happy to reconnect. Just recently been able to reconnect with other Glow girls. So how have you been? What's been going on in your life? And again, I just want to catch up to speed with you, how everything's going.
Oh God, what was going on the last time we talked? Good
well,
Lord.
I'll tell you what. Let me tell you what wasn't going on last time we talked was this pandemic. So I'm kind of curious
Lord.
to see. Yeah, were you all affected by that? And if so,
well, let's see. I think the last time you talked, my husband was in the hospital in ICU.
Yeah, that's what was going on, right? Mm-hmm.
Well, he was in there for 60 days. He did 20 days of rehab, full recovery. He's doing great.
That's amazing. That's so awesome.
Yeah. Power of faith, love, and prayer.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. I had to resign from my job at the state because a lot of political drama. But I'm currently doing really well. I'm in a company I love. I've got a great boss, great coworkers.
Nice.
Amazing job. Happier than I've ever been. Let's see, we had to cancel the 2020 cruise.
I remember that too.
Pandemic.
Yeah. That's right.
I've done a couple things. I've done a few cons since then, since it opened back up. Mm-hmm. We have another cruise coming up in May.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And let's see. In 2021. Or was it 2022? 2021, I had some heart issues, but I'm better.
Oh, good.
We survived the pandemic. Neither of us, knock wood, were affected or got COVID.
Oh, thank goodness.
He's been back in the office. We returned to the office this week. Last week.
Oh, okay.
And the only day I work from home now is Fridays, which is why we had the schedule for now. That's basically everything that's been going on.
That's a lot. Wow, gosh, that's so much. And most importantly, Sandy, I'm just so happy that you and your husband are both healthy and safe and just both doing very well. That's incredible. Yeah. I'm so happy to hear that.
And we lost several Glow girls recently.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last year we lost. Last January we lost Matilda the Hun, Queen Kong, and Angel, Hot Rod Andy. Last January, and we lost Babe the Farmer's Daughter in November, December.
I can't believe that's all happened in just such a short amount of time. But wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And let's see. So it's been a little weird.
Sandy, were you able to attend any of the funerals? I know COVID's definitely a hindrance to being able to do something like that. But...
No, I wasn't, but I was able to send video in. And
good.
I was able to make sure that VCW, the wrestling organization that I work for on and off, they did a 10-bell salute for Angel and Matilda.
Oh, that was really nice. That's very sweet.
Recognized it, yeah. but I wasn't able to get out to California for that because of the COVID. But last
Yeah.
year, me and Roxy, Sunny the California Girl, Royal Hawaiian, and Dallas, was that all of us? Me, Roxy, Sunny, Dallas. I want to say there was one more, but I don't remember. We all did a meet and greet and a question and answer panel at Oscars of Palm Springs, which was hosted by Polo Del Mar.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's great.
From
Very, very cool.
Yeah, so we were able to do that. I was able, when they opened the cons back up, I made my last year was my eighth visit to Rhode Island Comic Con.
Oh gosh. Wow.
So a lot of fun there. Of course, I did Galaxy Con for 3 years. It's just been, basically staying healthy, work, and just living life.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's a lot, and again, I'm so happy that you're able to do that. And back to VCW for a second. You said off and on, how's that been going most recently?
Well, we had a change in leadership,
Oh,
and
okay. I see.
me and my husband were told our services were, quote, no longer needed. So we're taking a break.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't follow too much the whole independent scene, Sandy. Like, we have very little peripheral coverage here in Atlanta, Georgia, for example. Someplace where it used to be really hot and one of the biggest
God.
and now they have these little, indie shows where they're lucky if they get 100 people to show up. I'm not exaggerating. I think I'm being very generous, and it's really scary. I think it's really died down. And
VCW gets 300 plus.
Interesting. Yeah, I know that the pandemic affected a lot of these places,
but we came back hot. I mean,
good. Yeah,
we've
that's
had
great.
sold out crowds at ringside, sold out, and basically we have our usual venue of the Masonic Temple. We can get anywhere from 300 to 600.
Oh wow, yeah, that's good. That's a full packed house. That's good.
Yeah, and it makes a difference. The boys like it. It makes a difference. It really, really does. But we have some good. VCW is a long history. They've been in Virginia since the 90s. They have a long history and a loyal following.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't realize they had been around that long. That's terrific. Wow, that's one of the longest running indie promotions then.
Well, what happened, it's ironic. It used, back after Glow in 1991, I did a show post Glow, as I wrestled as another character for VCW, Virginia Championship Wrestling. Well, it went through a change and became Vanguard Championship Wrestling. Well, now with the new leadership and all, it's back to Virginia Championship Wrestling. So it's sort of come full circle. So it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
That's great. And, back to Glow for a second, Sandy, did you mention, are you going to be going on the cruise later on this summer?
To be determined.
Oh, okay.
To be determined.
Yeah, I know you'd like to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, with his hospital bills, and last year with the hospital bills I had with my heart stuff, we've had to watch budget and stuff like that. So it's to be determined at this point.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, again, it's just amazing from everything you've been through. Did you have any friends or family that were adversely impacted by COVID in terms of getting sick or even I feel like everyone's known somebody that's died of COVID, but did that happen?
Well, Angel died of COVID.
That was, right. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a COVID death. Interesting.
Yeah, hers was.
Oh, okay.
And she was fully vaccinated and boosted. It just shows you. It just shows you. Yeah, she and it hit her quick and hard. I mean, She was fully vaxxed, boosted, doing good. Said, started feeling bad, and then bam, gone.
That's interesting. Several, I've seen studies coming out, it's debatable, I'm sure, but as far as efficacy for the vaccines and even masks and everything I'm hearing about, like at least stories of people that I either know or don't know, just loosely or just through people, most of the people, and again, I'd be interested to see what the correlation is, but I keep hearing that more people are dying that are vaxxed, that when they find out, yeah, they were fully vaxxed. And that perplexes me because that kind of goes against what, we were kind of
Told. Oh yeah,
right.
it's like
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm fully vaxxed. Okay,
Hmm.
I had the original and 2 boosters or 3 boosters.
Uh-huh.
Um, my husband can't be vaxxed. He has a medical. He had when he was a child, he suffered from Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS.
Mm. Oh,
And
wow.
if you remember, I don't know if you've been vaccinated, but they ask you about that on the application.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he can't be vaxxed.
So he
I
probably
mean,
can't get the flu shot even, I'm guessing, no?
no, he can't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I
Because
figured. Hmm.
it was a childhood booster that triggered the Guillain-Barré. So
Yeah.
I got vaxxed because I wanted him to be safe,
Okay.
because, and like I said, knock wood, thank God and everybody else that's looking over for us, we have managed to be okay.
Yeah.
And I've had several friends that have gotten sick, but they made it. It, I guess it just depends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, that's true.
it's luck of a draw.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's so weird. Now here it is, like 3 years, and it's still among us. It feels like definitely not
I
going away
know.
anytime soon.
And
Hmm.
it's funny because you see, it's like I can tell you, there's some people that you go out and you see, occasionally you see people still wearing masks, but a lot of times you don't see. I mean, even at cons,
Mm-hmm.
when we get back, there was a lot of times you didn't see masks. And when I went when I went to the LA last year, when I went to Palm Springs, when I flew out, same thing at the airports,
Yeah.
you know. So I don't know. I thank God that, me and my husband aren't affected, but my heart does go out to the people that were, because from what I've been told and from what I see, and talking to friends and people on Facebook, and it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. No question about it. Yeah, you're right. But just like you said earlier, you just so grateful and thank God for you and your husband doing so well. And
Oh yeah.
you know, it's just great that you've been able to be so resourceful and make it through. And I guess for this year in 2023, I know that we just talked briefly about the cruise, but what else is going on this year for goals and for objectives and your schedule?
Um,
What do you have lined
well,
up?
we are. My goal is always to constantly get healthier,
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's a great goal. Hmm.
when I had 2 stents had to be put in. I had 2 arteries that were 90%, 95% blocked.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm
Very common.
trying,
Hmm.
yeah. And I had to have surgery to correct AFib, because my heart was just not. My heart was going nuts.
Oh,
It would,
yeah.
I went into AFib, and I had a very, here again, knock wood, mild heart attack. And
Mm, mm,
the testing proved that I had 2 arteries that were 95% blocked, and I had AFib. Well,
mm.
they did a procedure called an ablation,
Uh-huh.
which freezes or burns
Yep.
the
The
spine.
nerves. Hmm. Hmm.
So that's been fixed, and the two
Good.
stents. And I'm on medication. I'm having to watch what I eat. Get out and walk and move more. and it's got to keep an eye on my weight and stuff like that. So I'm trying to just, my goals are to continue and to get healthier.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
we are looking at getting out of the apartment and moving into a house this year. So
Oh, very cool.
we've got some
Nice.
goals. And next year I'll turn 60, and I want to do something major for my 60th birthday in 2024. So we might go to Europe or something.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness.
We're gonna plan for
That's
that.
awesome. That
But
would be so cool.
just maintain my health, get better health,
Yeah.
uh, do cons as I'm invited, do things, and when I'm able to get out to California to see the girls, get out there and see the girls, stuff like that. I talk to Roxy frequently. I I message and chat with Sunny, the California girl, on Facebook a lot. Jailbait occasionally, EMTV. I just try to keep up with them. It's kind of hard with me over here on the East Coast and they're on the West Coast, but we still maintain. So it's always cool.
Yeah, yeah, that is great. Yeah, you are one of the minorities being out here. I'm on the East Coast with you as well. Like when you think about the Glow Girls, I guess most of them would be over there in Pacific time.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, that's interesting.
yeah.
And
But
you're right, that is harder to get out that way, especially I find well, you would know better than me. But for traveling and airline fares, it seems like it's just really skyrocketed since a couple years ago.
well, airline fares are a little steep, yes,
Hmm.
but and I have to say here again, when I flew out, the last time I flew was like I said, September of last year,
Yep.
and everything went smooth coming and going.
Good. Oh, okay, good,
So
good. Yeah.
so there wasn't really an issue with that, which I'm grateful for. But and before that, I think the last time I flew before 2022 was the girls. A bunch of us got invited out to Anaheim for Nostalgia Con, the very first ever Nostalgia 80s con. So
Neat.
there was about 12 of us at that one.
Oh, that's great.
So I got to
Wow.
go out for that, and that one went smoothly too. I mean, honestly, like I said, I'm hoping I don't have any airport horror stories.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And like you said, Sandy, health is number one. You mentioned Sunny just a few minutes ago. We recently had her here, and I got to reconnect. And the video with her interview, we covered the importance of things like getting regularly checked out, but also colonoscopy, and being aware of colon cancer. And her interview really focused on just overcoming some real great strong odds and challenges, which all of us go through, obviously.
Oh yeah,
And
well
here,
she's a warrior. She's a warrior.
mhm, yeah, you all are, absolutely. I mean, she dealt with her issues. You've dealt with different issues with the heart conditions and cardiovascular health, and it's so important, to not only deal with problems like that, but then also, like you said, be a warrior in trying to be, um, you know, triumphant, kind of, and just overcome that.
Oh yeah. Oh, and by the way, the family that CPAPs together lives longer. Both me and my husband were diagnosed with apnea, so we both have
Oh
CPAP
gosh.
machines. It's like
Oh.
CPAP. But hey, I wouldn't, I'd rather sleep with the machine than worry about anything happening. So
Yeah. Right.
and
Right. Very well said, Sandy.
that
Hmm.
has made a great difference. Um, and it's amazing to know. I always knew I was a weird sleeper, but I never knew the cause. And
Mm. Hmm.
with the heart issues, they recommended I get tested. Sure enough,
Hmm.
I had sleep apnea and I needed a CPAP.
Oh,
And
okay. Huh.
it's just I would caution people, you know, if you be open, talk to your doctor, communicate,
Yeah.
because they can't help you. It's like it's funny. It's weird when I had the heart issue, and this is for women or men.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware of what your body is telling you. I thought I was having panic attacks because I was getting short of breath, no energy, feeling tired. I thought it was a panic attack until one night I just could not settle. I could not get my breathing under control.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden I just felt it wasn't any pain. It
Uh-huh.
was just a tightness in my a tightness in my chest. It was just like my chest tightened up for a little bit. And
Wow.
I looked at my husband. I said, we need to go to the ER. I said, this is not, no. And we went, and sure enough, boom.
That's so smart. You're right. A lot of people try to look the other way, and just ignorance is bliss sometimes. And well, what I don't know won't hurt me. And you're right. It's the opposite. It's good to, you mentioned a few minutes ago about the 95% blockage in the arteries, and I keep hearing more and more people dying of heart attacks from things like the Widowmaker and from blockage. And in fact, I had a few close clients who were at the gym who had some close calls with that. And it's interesting because one of them told me, this is one thing that usually the doctors won't check out unless you ask them specifically, hey, can we take a calcium score? Can we look at, what the percentage is looking like? Because in a typical physical exam, that's not something that would, be called upon. But it's really smart. Like you said, Sandy, everyone's intuitive to their own body, but definitely paying attention to those warning signs and symptoms for sure.
It's like, because you hear the the shooting pain down your left arm, and stuff
Right.
like that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
It
But yours is different.
it hits everyone different.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I jokingly, it's no joke, but part of the fun thing about the cons I go to is I got to meet the cast of Clerks,
Oh,
which
how cool. Neat.
and the movie Clerks 3, which came out last year, it sort of gut punched me and I cried. They didn't know, but two of the characters in that movie, spoiler alert, had heart attacks.
Oh, wow.
In the movie,
Gosh.
the characters did, and the way they
Oh.
described it was just like mine happened.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
my husband and I, we were watching. We just looked at each other. He goes, "That's too scary." And it's kind of funny. Life imitates art, but
Right. Mm-hmm.
my big thing is, and I tell people, it's like even now my breathing is still not 100%. So I've ruled out any lung issues or obstructions.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I've got some follow-up appointments with my cardiologist and other things. I'm going to make sure, you never know. And
Absolutely. That's so smart.
and don't be afraid to challenge if your doctor seems to blow it off, don't be afraid to challenge them,
Mm-hmm.
because you live in your body. They don't.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and doctors, not, I mean, medical doctors definitely by trade, are very deductive in their reasoning. So in other words, as we know, they like to eliminate, well, it's not this or it's not that. But we are our own best inductive detectives when we try to discover, well, if it's not this or that, then what is it? And you're right. You have to almost be your own advocate when it comes to medical diagnosis sometimes.
Well, it's like when my husband was sick, he
Mm-hmm.
had basically put weight and smoking. He developed pneumonia and his body just couldn't fight it.
Oh gosh. Wow.
And
Mm.
his body didn't fight the first bout, which is what put him in the ICU.
Oh gosh, so
It
scary.
came
Mm.
back around and something clicked, and he spiked the fever and he fought it and he made a full recovery. But, and even then the doctors were like, well, because the longer you're on a ventilator, the worse it gets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, they were like, well, maybe you should think. And I'm like, if he's got a chance, give him the chance. I said, I know he's a fighter. You
Yeah.
don't know my husband. Let's pull out every stop. I said,
Uh-huh.
it ain't over till it is over. And if I hadn't been, like you said, you have to be an advocate. You have to be your own advocate. You have to be an advocate for loved ones. If it
Good
hadn't
for
been for
you.
that,
Mhm.
God knows how long he would have been in there, or even if he would have recovered. But
Oh, wow.
I made sure the doctors gave him the fighting chance. And even now today, when he gets follow-ups, they're like, you proved us wrong. And he's like, well, he said, I learned one thing about my wife. Listen to her.
Such good advice for sure. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's wonderful, Sandy. You know, it's just so amazing. We're learning that people are living so much longer now, and the key to living longer, is we all know, is not only like we've been talking about, just regularly getting checked up and concentrating on our health, but also just being active and, physically and mentally, and just to keep ourselves moving, and so that we're not, um, immobile and sedentary, and that's the problem, as we know, in America, especially with the epidemic of heart disease and everything else that's connected to it. So I think that's so important, but it's like you said, not only fighting for yourself but for loved ones, because at the end of the day, after we don't have anything else, health is what we do have, and that's so important. I mean, what is more important than our health at the end of the
Nothing.
day?
And it's like, I also decided, if I can't control it, if nothing I do is going to change an outcome,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to let that stress go. I'm
Good for
not
you.
going to
Yeah.
worry about things I have no control over.
That's
And
very well said.
that's
Mhm.
helped mentally a lot better. I don't get as angry. I don't get as stressed. I'm just like, look, if I know, and I go through my checklist of actions on any situation, and if there's nothing I can do to change it, let it go.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that peace and calming aligns a lot with the serenity prayer in many ways.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so true. You're right. Uh,
and back in the day, I volunteered and all, and I learned the Serenity Prayer, and yeah, I still use
mhm.
it
That's
because
very empowering.
life throws you things that you never expect.
Mhm.
It's like, um, it's like, you remember my little yappy puppy, my doggy.
Yes.
Well, she passed away last year,
Oh, I'm so sorry, Sandy. Mm.
and it was, you know, it was she. Here again, regular vet visits, regular diet, exercise, great health. It just one day, she was
Just
12 years old, and the vets are like,
yeah.
we were like, why? And the vets were like, it's one of those things, you did nothing wrong. It's just,
Right. Yeah. Well, and in many ways, Sandy, just like we were talking about at the beginning of this interview with COVID, like everybody you hear about, they could be fully vaxxed, they could be very healthy, active and fit, and then it's like, whoa, that person, how did that happen? And sometimes there is no explanation. But I'm a big believer that when it's time, it's just that's the time that it's meant for us to go, whenever that's going to happen. You hear a lot about, obviously in professional wrestling, the mainstream, especially with the early deaths, especially back in the 80s, 90s, of all these wrestlers. And a lot of times the media would put a blanket on it and say, drugs, steroids, and everything else. And there was some legitimacy to that for sure. I never heard that, though, with the Glow Girls, or especially women wrestling, ladies wrestling. And yes, women for the most part are more healthier, as we know, in cardiovascular type versus men, just because of the genetics. But I think also women in general, y'all don't do all the, how do I say it, residual negative components of lifestyle as men would be. And I know that's another general blanket statement, but I think there's a lot of truth to that as well. Because again, we just
no,
don't hear a lot about women dying in general in terms of
okay.
sports and athletes.
Let me give you a quick rundown. Out
Hmm.
of out of the 70 plus Glow Girls, we lost Sally, the farmer's daughter,
Hmm.
Babe, both to cancer,
Mm, mm,
Angel to COVID,
hmm. Hmm.
Matilda the Hun medical complications due to age and health. We lost Star, heart attack. Big Bad Mama, she was a cancer survivor. That's 6 girls. Not a one of them was about drugs.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. And yet, yeah, you hear about the flip side of it, and it's just
you read about the boy. You read about the boy, as I call them, the boys. They can deal with me later. The boys. You hear about drugs, suicide.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Health issues due to drug use, due to past drugging.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, and I'm saying this to all men, and it's nothing against men. Wake up.
Yeah.
You don't need to be Superman or macho. You don't need to kill yourselves.
Absolutely well said, Sandy. Yeah, you're right.
You know?
And you know, again, it's at the end of the day, you said it so right and eloquently, is that we have our health, and that is what we have, and we've got to do the best with it. And I commend you and your husband for both being fighting warriors as well. You know, again, well done on that. That is just incredible.
Well, I pick on him because he started smoking again, so I jumped down his throat, and I will say he's really working, you know, with the doctors trying to quit.
There you go.
You know, but I keep reminding him, look what happened. You ended up in the ICU because of this crap. You don't want to go back. You don't want to go
Sandy.
back.
You know what? You're holding him accountable, and that's what he needs. And you know, that's all there is to it. Well, Sandy, you know, again, this half hour flew by too fast. I know it's time for us to get out of here, but before we do, if you don't mind, can we please plug the best ways for people listening that want to catch up with you, how they directly get in touch with you and connect with you on wherever, social media, wherever else you want to plug to, please? I'm
on Facebook, Sandy Gremlina Manley. I'm on Twitter. I think it's Sandman9. No, Twitter is Gremlina Glow. I'm on TikTok and Instagram. I think that's Sandman, SANMAN8. So I'm around. You can find me. Excellent.
Well, all your fans will know where to find you for sure. And again, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for being able to do this. Again, especially with your schedule. And let's please reconnect and do this next month if you have time. I'll definitely reach out to you as well. And then as we fade to black, I'm going to put your contact information right now too. Okay. All right. Great catching up, Taryn. You too. Thank you, Sandy. All right. Talk to you soon. All right. Thanks again. I appreciate it. You too. All right. Bye-bye.